Sweet. Okay, nice. So before we start kind of jumping into Ableton, talking about all the different aspects of the styles, let's first of all kind of just verbalize, kind of list what makes two-step garage. But before that, just kind of like a brief, maybe we listen to a few examples. I paste this website in the chat, kind of like how did we get into this style? Then we'll listen to a few examples of the style. So first of all, I just want to mention that there used to be US garage music, which is essentially just a progression of disco. Okay, let's listen. I'll try to click it to give you. Can you guys hear this? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. It's like New Jack Swing also. Okay, essentially a lot of, I mean, it's kind of a natural progression from funk and disco music into the clubs. DJs used to come around in the East Coast of New York. Let me close this code. And kind of play their mixes, their cuts, all of that. Very popular. And then it got to the UK, got sped up, what we call speed garage. That was kind of like the initial style that was, again, heavily influenced by the American one, and also a lot of samples from American R&B music. Oh, wait, we got one more joining. Okay, so let's listen to a few examples. I'm gonna move ahead. Now, before that, I want to remind everyone, and maybe we'll ask this as an open question to everyone: what makes a style a style? Okay, because what I want us to kind of emphasize here is our listening on specific elements of the music. So what makes a style a style? Can anyone kind of start telling me? There's maybe a few things even.
Rhythm?
Okay, exactly. The type of beats that it has absolutely is a major factor of a style. For example, you can put a different maybe beat on some of the two-step, and that becomes like a very early on. You know what? Before we go in there, you can put a different beat on a UK garage and make it two-step, okay? Or two-step and make it UK garage, which will differentiate between them. So definitely the rhythm is essentially a big part of it. And if it's a subgenre, although in this case it's kind of unique, we'll talk about that, a subgenre might be the same music style, whether you choose like hardcore sounds or soft sounds, whatever it is, but the rhythm is different. So rhythm, or the beats themselves, like the actual drum sounds and the actual rhythmic patterns, will be a big factor, in some cases the only factor, of the style, okay? So now we're listening to this speed garage music. And notice how the sounds, the drums are playing essentially a house beat. Okay, it's a house beat, meaning the kick is on every beat. Okay. Let's move another one. Okay, that's something that's already gone into dubstep. Okay, now house rhythms, and this exists still today. There's a lot of UK garage, amazing music. We consider it part of the house genre, okay? Mostly because of that kick. If that kick has that 4 on the floor, we at least dance, if not specifically house, okay? Nice. Now, from what I understand, from what I read, what happened in this scene, that it was very kind of male dominant. Okay, the DJs, the clubs, everything was just all males. So what they did is, and it's, of course, this is kind of like a cultural influence, but there's a lot of just the artists themselves exploring, is taking this style and essentially displacing the kicks. I'll show you exactly in MIDI in Ableton. Displacing the kicks and creating a much softer style. So this is still influenced by the American R&B and disco, but bringing these UK speed garage rhythms that are very shuffled. We'll talk about that with all the swing and stuff, but those were still house music rhythms or disco, and now displacing the kick and making it more similar to the other break influence styles like the jungle we talked about, which is in the drum and bass family and all of that. So two-step is the same garage, kind of influence from disco and everything, but giving us kind of like a displaced kick that sounds much more kind of softer. You can listen to it sitting down, not necessarily feeling like you have to dance because of that kick. Nice. I want you to notice that besides the kick that are displaced, like before, like the regular UK garage, what we hearing also is all those hats and percussion. Everything's have a lot of swing to them. Okay, everything's heavy swing, because to get that kind of skip feeling. Let's listen to another thing. Okay. We can take this exact same thing, put a kick on every beat, and it's UK garage and not two-step. Okay, let's listen to more modern examples. This is like late 90s. Let's go to Spotify. Here, I sent you this in the email. We'll listen briefly to these two examples. It's called Selecta. What's it called? Craig David. Craig David, if you guys don't know, was an amazing artist with the most ridiculous lyrics in the early 2000s. Amazing music, absurd lyrics, but music is amazing nonetheless. And he had really great influences from two-step. I was a two-step artist among other, like just R&B, UK R&B. And there is one famous one, which is, I think, a remix or something. I just remember it's like Selecta. Here we go. So this is the UK music. There's heavy electronic UK music. There's always going to be heavy influences from Jamaican immigrants. Okay, so that's why we hear a lot of those type of shouts, the vocals, raga, right, jungle, all those. A lot of times have those Jamaican lyrics. Let's listen. Just this is kind of like when is this? Late 90s, and then we'll listen to a modern example from 2023, all in the two-step style.
Rewind. Into selector. Hey, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, into selector. Making moves, yeah, on the dance floor. Gotta move on, dancing, yeah, real hardcore. From the front to the back, that's where I was at. You know, the apple died to do like that. With Craig David all over your DJ, it's all up to you. When the crowd go wild, tell me what you gon' do. It's no use trying. Rewind. When the crowd say ball, selector.
Here we can hear a very common bass sound, which we'll talk about today, which is kind of the classic square bass that progressed into dubstep later on. Or to the womp, which was grind, but doesn't matter. They're all kind of very together. Okay, modern example. When is this song from? I think it's kind of rather new. What is this? 2022. Check this. Muramasa, by the way, he's in charge of most of the, like, what's, oh my God, Ice Spice. Remember that? The huge hit. That's Muramasa. With Pink Panther's. You know what I'm talking about? Boys are Leia.
Yes.
But that's Muramasa.
Nice.
Okay, we're mostly listening to the beats.
I'd cross the ocean. You wouldn't even jump puddles for me. I cared with devotion. You didn't, that was easy to see. You don't see, you don't think of my emotions.
Just gonna wait till the chorus.
Leave you be, it's not like you notice. You don't see, you don't think of my emotions like you care.
Nice. So mostly what I wanted to listen so far is just the rhythms. The rest is fairly straightforward. We can go into more sample route. We can go into more just composed MIDI with synths and stuff route. And essentially we can go in any kind of like vibe that we're looking for, which is whether it's R&B, whether it's more heavy club influence. That's really up to us. The main thing is, of course, the rhythms, how to get those shuffled rhythms. We'll talk about that, which sounds to use. We'll synthesize a bass sound, and maybe we'll make some as well chords and maybe some samples and stuff like that. So let's jump into Ableton. Please, at any point, let me know if you have any questions. Please, yes.
I guess like as I noticed, the rhythm right now also very significant of style is the tempo, right? The speed of the beat.
Absolutely, yes.
Because I can see the similarities with drum and bass right now, but just like slow down, like maybe half time or something, perhaps.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. BPM, I would say it's definitely a determined factor. Like it's something that is given that, you know, very fast styles, you won't be able to do slowly or vice versa. And like any style, yes, this definitely have a range of BPM. I would say 130 is the classic one, but you can go around it faster, slower, I would say by up to 5, maybe even more, slightly more BPMs. But 130 is definitely the area of where we can find this style lives, okay? So absolutely, Chris, thank you. 130 BPM, that's what we start with setting up. Now, before we do the actual two-step, let's do the regular UK garage kind of house, and then we'll see that the main difference is kind of starting to play around with the placements of the kicks. Let's walk here. I'm gonna zoom in. We're gonna create 2 bars clip here. Keyboard shortcut, Command, Shift, M. Okay, let me also load my cursor thing so it's easier to see. Okay, nice. Yeah, okay, sweet. Now, right here, I created a drum rack that I will give you so you can test out. But in Ableton, there's a really great drum rack that comes built in called Garage, what's it called? Garage Kit. Okay, also great drum rack to start with. You can do a bunch of cool garage and two-step with it. I also built a kit that I will share with you. Let's start with just just because it's renamed already. It's much easier to see the name of the drum elements. Okay, we set our BPM to 130. First thing I would do is create kind of like a disco, or what we call today house rhythm, with just a kick on every beat. Okay, let me know if there's any questions at any point. I would click on the clip, hit Command L to loop it. I'm gonna hit Z to zoom in, and we're gonna play it. Okay, nice. I don't love this. Let's try this again. Okay, that's aggressive. Let's turn it down here. Oh, that's mine, right? Because it's not meant for this. Let's do it with this kit. I'm sure they have a better kick for this. Whoops. Here we go. Okay, sweet. So we'll use this. Nice. So we got the kick first. Then we're gonna, first of all, build a classic conventional house beat. Okay, so I'm gonna put a snare or a clap or a rim shot, whatever you want, on the 2 and 4s. Okay, and we're gonna put on the off beats, we're gonna put hats. We're gonna talk about some techniques for groove with the hats and stuff like that once we go in the beat. I just wanna kind of first of all break down the fundamentals of this style for these drums. Classic house beat. Okay, a determining factor for two-step and UK Garage is the syncopated percussion. It might be snares, it might be other just sounds, scratches, even like short DJ scratches, but they're all syncopated and they're all shuffled, they're swung. So let's do that right now, just to kind of see the fundamentals. So if I go and let's say, first of all, I'm gonna change my grid to 16th. Nice, we get much more syncopated notes here. Okay, let's do the classic one. I'm gonna put a snare here and here, okay? Nice, we can put maybe another one here. You see, usually with two-step, we have a lot of snares and rim shots to do that. I'll show you on my kit. Yeah, let's do something like that. Maybe something like this. And then another like syncopated one here. So you see they're all syncopated. Okay, but we also need that swing that comes with them. It's going to be very tedious and annoying to just push them manually forward. We need to, that's why we have Ableton's groove engine right here. I'm going to go and load the new groove. It shows me like a list of all the grooves that Ableton have. I don't like this view, so I'm going to right click and choose show in places. And now it's going to show me according to their categorizing. Next, I'm going to go under swing. Logic swing is very popular in this style, but there's even a two-step, where is it? Two-step accent. Okay, which this is like a classic 16. I guess it's a bit, there's more variation here, but we're going to go right now with the basics. So we'll just use something simple like the logic swing. Now, right here, we can swing the 8ths, but I want to swing the 16th. Okay, this number at the end is the amount of swing. So from very low amount to heavy swing. Okay, right here is your groove pool of your project. Like this is all the grooves that we have in our project. Right now it's empty. If you want, you can just load a bunch of them just so you have kind of these amounts, although you can also change the timing. Oh, here's banner. We can also change the timing here. I'll show you with the grooves, okay? But let's just use a basic kind of groove right now. So I have a basic house beat. I have some snares and rim shots that are syncopated, meaning usually on the last 16th of the beat. This is the beat, the last 16th, right? The fourth one or the second one, right? Syncopated, like not on the beats or on the 8th notes, either in between the 8th notes, okay? Nice. Now I'm gonna, because I have all this groove loaded up in my project now, I can select any one of them for this specific clip. Let's try 70 just to listen. So again, I'm gonna turn it off. Let's add like hats here so we can also hear them. Cool. Yeah, maybe. Here, tambourine, what's this? Here we go. Okay, now I'm gonna add the groove. Let's try 70. Okay, now it sounds a bit more skippy, right? It's kind of skipping because of that swing. We need that for this style. Nice. Now, we don't see what the groove is doing. It's working in the background. If you want to actually move the notes, see what the notes are doing, click on this right arrow. And now here we see what the swing has did to our notes. Okay, nice. So this is kind of like the fundamentals. Let's go a bit more into it, but you just build a basic house beat. You add some syncopated snares, you add some sort of a swing, and you can get to that kind of skippy vibe that those drums have. Now, we can, of course, add a lot more, but right now we'll keep it simple before we continue. Yes, anyone had a question? Okay, let me know. Now, let's make it two-step by just deleting the kicks. Nice. And we start, first of all, adding someone, Yuval, I think Yuval mentioned the drum and bass. So drum and bass pattern, the classic drum and bass pattern definitely work here. If you remember, it's this one. Okay, that one works. Kick, snare, kick, snare. Nice. But you can start adding more kicks, like here. And notice how I'm not using the swing for the kicks, although you can. Right now we leave it. Let's add a kick here. Right, or maybe here syncopated. Right, we can add here. It's really up to you. Nice. Now, it does matter when it comes down to velocities, okay? Velocities make a huge difference here with the groove as well as the swing. So let me actually see how the kick sound with the swing, and then we can always remove the swing just from the kicks. So I